All right, guys, welcome back. We're getting started with the frame build first. So we're going to pick up right where we left off. So let's go ahead and do this first, okay? Let's go ahead and take out our standoffs. These are going to be M3 standoffs. We're just going to set those aside for right now, but we're going to go through it because we want to make sure all the parts are here and they're explained properly. So there's our M3 standoffs, right? And then let's go ahead and get our screws out and let's sort these out. All right, so we're going to have a set of screws and they're not going to all be the same size. So let's kind of compare them here. And let's take the tallest ones first and make a little row of those. If you want to stand them up, that's what I like to do, is just kind of stand them in the height. So you're going to see here that we're going to have, I believe we're going to have 3 different length of screws. So there's 4 of those, and then we should have 4 kind of middle height right here, mid height right here. Okay, and then we're going to have 4 of these smaller height right here. All right, now I will tell you as we get started, I want you to put the screws that we're not going to use, I'd like you to put them in something like the bag. So I can tell you right now, these small screws will not be used right now because those are to fasten the top plate down when we're done, and it's going to be a while. So take these so they don't get stuck to the motor magnets. Take those and put those aside, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take that and the top plate for right now, and let's go ahead and put those aside, and we may put the standoffs aside too, but we're going to find out first. So let's just go ahead with assembling this frame in the easiest way. First thing I want to do is let's look at the arms, okay? So here's our arms right here. All right, now let me see what I have as tools in here that I can show you guys. All right, so I'm going to pull out these calipers. Actually, this is the part that's going to be kind of important. So let's get a measurement so you know exactly what kind of equipment you're getting, okay? Let me zero out my calipers right here, and I'm going to go ahead and test the measurement here. So this is 3.88 millimeters thick of an arm. We'll usually say that those were intended to be 4 millimeter arms. I don't think we're going to say they were supposed to be 3.5, so, but maybe they were. Between 3.5 to 4 mil, given the amount of resin that goes into the carbon fiber and the amount of layers, you're always going to have a little bit of deviation from the actual intended size. Let's see our bottom plate here. Our bottom plate is intended to be 1.5 millimeters, and by the looks of it, it looks like it's saying about 1.6, which is good as well. All right, and then let's look at the plate that goes between, and again, it's about the same. Now, one of the things that you're going to notice right here is that on this plate, this is your mid plate right here, and on your mid plate, you're going to see these press nuts put in. Okay, now what these are, they look basically like this here. I'll try to give you an idea. So this is what a press nut looks like, and it's got an edge that's got some texture to it. And what happens is you put it into the carbon fiber and you press it real tight in there, and it sticks. And so the purpose of doing that is so that you can just screw the screw in and not have to add a top fastener. So it makes it pretty easy, a little bit easier. They can pop out if you put too much force into them, but these are on there pretty solid. The job well done on this one, by the way. All right, so let's get to the assembly part and let's understand why we have different size screws. So one of the things that we need to note is that these longer screws are intended to go through the frame, through the arms, and then intended to have these screw right into them. So these are going to be the longest screws. So the way this works out is the middle screws are going to screw into where these press nuts are right here. So when we lay this out, if you take your base frame and you just lay these arms out, right, and you want to see how you're going to piece it out properly to make it fit properly, what you're going to want to do is you're going to notice that everything's going to fit. You have the big hole here, you can lay your arm like that, and you're going to see that it's made to cut around there. So take the arms and just kind of lay them out like this, just like that. All 4 arms are the same, so it doesn't matter which ones you put where. But you're going to notice that all of a sudden, once you start laying these out, that's your frame, okay? Then what's going to happen is this piece is going to go on top like that, and then these screws, these middle length screws, are going to go into the second hole here that has the press nut. The longer screws are going to go into the first hole, and when they poke through, these standoffs are going to screw into them, so it tightens down. So let me show you how that's going to work, okay? Easiest way to do this, the easiest thing to do, start with the middle length screw, okay? Go for the bottom plate, just like that. Put the arm on and make sure you're going into the second hole right there. Then put the mid plate on, okay? And then let me see where I put my, I'll be right back. I'm gonna take my hex driver right here, and I'm basically I'm gonna finger tighten this. Don't go crazy with it. Don't go cranking it down too hard. Just hold the screwdriver on by here and not the handle, and just kind of spin your fingers till it tightens. Okay, lay that out just like that. Now everything's in place. So your plate is now gonna be in place. Now you could take the long screw, run it through the first hole in the arm, take your standoff, and screw that down. And at this point, you're going to repeat the process all the way around. Remember, the long screw is in the front, and the smaller screw goes where the press nut is right there, okay? So now send the second arm in. You can go to the second one right here. Line everything up. And make sure I line this up properly. There we go, just like that. And again, we'll start with the mid screw that's going to go into the press nut. I'm going to put that one there first. There you go. And then again, just lightly tighten it. Okay. Then get the long screw. Put that one through the first hole right there. And then get your standoff. Just like that. Okay. And you're going to repeat the process for the bottom ones as well. And then we'll do the last arm right here. It's very easy to do this frame. The frame is very solid, and the quality of the carbon fiber is very well done. They even chamfered the edges for you, which is these rounded chamfered areas, beveled areas, however you want a different term, beveled or chamfered. But it's a nice work that's done. By doing this on the arms, it helps prevent delamination. It helps prevent separation of the carbon fiber. And once you're done with step one, that's it. Now, if you were to wiggle the arms around a little bit, you would see, hey, okay, there is a little bit of movement because we haven't tightened them down. But you can see here, the edges come together very nicely. And if you lay the quad down like this, it looks perfect. This is exactly where you should be for step one, okay? So what we're gonna do next is, let me see, we're gonna go ahead and get the rest of the parts ready, and we'll be back with step two. Step three, I guess, after this, which will be the installation of your flight controller. So why don't you go ahead and get your flight controller ready, and get your capacitor ready, and get your XT30 ready, and we're going to get to soldering on this real quickly, okay? So let me put that aside, and we'll start getting ready with this next, and that'll be our next video, and I'll see you guys in just a second.